Thank you for joining us on the IFS Radio Network, an audio publication of IFS North America. This is Charles Rathman. We are joined now by reliability consultant Cardo O'Doherty for a discussion of how to use your EAM implementation to increase asset reliability. O'Doherty suggests that an attempt to understand how EAM can be used to realize increased asset reliability should center around several points.
Over the past 15 to 25 years, industry has focused primarily on design and product reliability. But more and more these days, we're being asked to investigate and explore asset reliability. Most important, I think, is the failure to realize the value in asset reliability. Bullet number one is misconceptions about proactive maintenance. There's some beliefs out there about proactive maintenance that we need to dispel. Bullet number two is changing the cultural mindset. There's absolutely, without a doubt, a certain way people think, act, and behave in industry, and I want to share that and maybe even point out some attributes, some things to look out for in that cultural mindset. And the third bullet is how to beat the shelfware curse. One of the problems in industry is the senior management team invest a lot of money into products like IFS software products that are absolutely guaranteed to deliver on the value promise. However, they end up sitting on a shelf somewhere collecting dust. We need to extract the value from the software investment. So when they buy IFS or whatever software solution they choose to implement all these benefits, that they're getting that value. They're delivering on the promise. And finally, the last bullet is lessons learned. What experiences can I share with people that will benefit them in generating some kind of value from everything that I've learned and others that I stand on the shoulders of have learned from an industry best practices perspective.
When results are not realized from EAM, O'Doherty suggests that misconceptions about things as rudimentary as the nature of the asset management function can be to blame.
The first one, in the past, I've heard people say something like this. Our goal is to achieve high plant availability at low cost. However, really, today, in the current state of affairs of industry, the goal should be to achieve safety, environmental integrity, efficiency, and quality, not just high plant availability at a low cost. So I'm going to call that HSEO, basically talking about health, safety, the environment, and operations. That is a misconception that we need to dispel. The second misconception, in the past, proactive maintenance, people have believed, is about preventing asset failures. The reality is today, we realize some assets will fail. Our job, therefore, is not to just prevent the asset from failing. If we can do so, of course, let's do that. However, our job primarily is to prevent the consequences of the asset failure. So we put means and methods in place to prevent the horrific incidents, those terrible consequences of those assets failing. So the third misconception, we believe that OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, or maintainers should develop proactive programs. We now know that the best proactive maintenance programs are created in groups, teams of OEMs, users, and maintainers who know the operating context of the physical asset best. And finally, we're too small, we're too busy, we just can't afford proactive maintenance. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that expression, I'd be a rich man today. However, the reality is, to survive in today's economy, we can't afford not to do proactive maintenance.
Once these misconceptions are addressed, oftentimes the underlying culture of the industrial organization needs to change, according to O'Doherty.
A popular popular expression you'll hear in industry on the plant floor. The tradesmen or craftsmen usually say something like, some things need to change around here. Well, that's an indicator. When you hear an expression like that spoken on the plant floor, that means there's a culture in place. There's a way and a belief system of thinking that expresses attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. So let's talk about attitudes, because that's a primary thing that we need to focus on, I believe. If you educate people to the realities of the current and future economies, and when I say that, I'm talking about complexity. I'm talking about globalization. I'm also talking about just-in-time, the philosophy of just-in-time delivery of goods, so that when you fabricate products, they go out the door the moment they're fabricated and they don't sit in a warehouse. And also less capital budgets that are available today. Those formulate the attitudes that we have in industry. But that's not all. There's two other areas. There's beliefs and behaviors as well. This is very much sort of forming our cultural approach to doing work on the plant floor. The beliefs, for example. We need to retrain people by unfreezing the way they currently think. And we need to transition these people. We need them to learn and then refreeze that new knowledge in these people. So by retraining people's beliefs, unfreezing, transitioning them, or having them learn new beliefs, and then refreezing that new knowledge, that will help form a new culture that forms these new belief systems that are helpful to changing things around here, as they say.
Oftentimes, value is not realized because of shelfware, EAM functionality that is purchased but not implemented, or software is used to generate asset data that is not acted on and therefore comes to nothing.
So the first thing you'll see is responsible managers allocate resources for a project to identify and improve the reliability of known poorly performing plant assets. These are bad actors or equipment that are known to fail on a regular or often basis. The second aspect of the shelfware curse is well-intentioned work ID facilitators go and engage company personnel to analyze the equipment that are, quote, bad actors, unquote, and document the required PM tasks. However, the third aspect is the problem, and this is why the shelfware curse rears its ugly head. The analysis exhausts all the project resources, and it ends up in a binder or on a shelf in some documented manner instead of being implemented. That is to say, nothing gets performed on the physical assets on a routine or go-forward basis.
Best practices originating from practical plant floor experience are also important to ensure results according to Odo Ardi. This is a key way to keep process change grounded in practical realities.
One key aspect is you need to visualize a compelling future state, but deal with the present reality. And the way I put it is, you need to keep one hand on heaven and one hand on earth. So you're constantly looking forward to that compelling future state, but dealing with that present reality at hand. And honestly, the main thrust here is communicate, communicate, communicate. You cannot stop communicating with everyone involved in the change initiative.
For more information on this topic, call us at 1-888-437-4968 for a copy of Odo Ardi's forthcoming white paper on how to realize the value from EAM. For more information on IFS, visit us at ifsworld.com/US. Thank you for joining us on the IFS Radio Network.
Extend your communication. true to the past.